Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Good morning, all. Today, the plan is to do a bunch of little tiny things that I need to get done here in the studio. Backing up some of the videos, making some green encaustic paint that I ran out of with this last painting. And I also want to take the tape off of this last painting and perhaps maybe get ready to start another sketch. I'll show you that if I have time, what I'm doing and what my plan is for these next several different sketches slash paintings. So, but first things first, let me get the wax turned on so I can make up some of that green encaustic paint. And of course, while that's going, I'm gonna back up these videos on the computer. You probably saw already, but I had a whole pack of stuff that I had to drop off and bring over here. Sometimes it's like I'm a pack mule walking over to the studio. Pros and cons of having a studio that's not directly in the house. I love it over here, and it's great because I know when I'm in here, I'm just focused on creating art, studio stuff, but the downside is you have to drag everything over here with you or make multiple trips. I mean, it's not far, let's face it. Any rate, let me get the wax turned on and yeah, we'll start the day here. First, let's start by making some encaustic paint, that green color that I ran out of. So I store all of my pigments in this little plastic container here. And speaking of pigments, I get my pigments from a company called Earth Pigments, which has natural ochre pigments along with some oxide pigments, and they're all supposed to be non-toxic pigments. However, I still don't want to breathe in the dust. So the materials I'm using are, of course, some clear encaustic medium, which you see pouring into this tin, the pigment, a mask with a nice little bit of a respirator to it, to really block in those from breathing in those tiny little particles, some gloves to protect my hands, a popsicle stick for stirring, and that metal tin that you saw me earlier pouring that clear encaustic medium into. I like to use already melted clear encaustic medium rather than trying to melt it down. It's just a little bit quicker, time saving, I guess, if you will. So anyways, I don't really measure out my pigment. I just dump it in and give it a nice long stir, much longer than you see me doing here. It takes a long time to get this all thoroughly mixed up. And then I simply pour it into a silicone mold, and they pop out nice and easily once it's all made and done. And there you have it, how I make my encaustic paint. Okay, it has started to rain here. So if you're hearing that on the roof, hopefully it's not too distracting, but the paint has been made. The computer is fully backed up now. All the videos have been backed up, and the last thing I need to do is take the tape off of that painting back there. So I'm gonna do that next, and then I think I'll probably take out a couple sketches and kind of inform you guys on what's going on with those. But first, let's take the tape off. And just like that, it stopped raining. Strangest thing. Anyways, stop talking about the weather. Let's get the tape off. Okay, tape is now off of that, and I wanted to explain a kind of what's probably going to be happening for the next several months until October-ish, and that is I'm going to be getting ready for a big art show. So my plan is to get a few more large paintings done on this vein series, if you will. I'm not sure what else to call it. So let me flip the camera around and show you a couple of the sketches that I've picked out to turn into larger paintings. All right, so there is 4 of them here. And I'm hoping to get 4 more paintings done before October. We will see. So this one is the one I'm going to work on next. And I was wondering if I couldn't get your opinion on the other 3 in case I don't have time to do all 3 in the next couple months. So I'm going to, again, flip the camera around. But first, what I thought I would do is show you the 3 paintings that I've already done for this series. And also just to kind of let you know that this series is really about connection and kindness. And hence the veins. If you've missed a couple, I don't know how many videos ago, but I did talk about that. Just heart veins and things that have affected me with the autoimmune, my hands and my eyes. So I'm subtly putting in veins into these paintings and hopefully, you know, not being super obvious about it. But anyway, let me flip the camera around, show you the 3 paintings I already have done, and then I'm going to have you maybe vote on these, not maybe, but definitely vote on these other 3 sketches to see what you think I should do next. Okay, here was the very first large painting I did in that series. And here's painting number 2 in that series. And then the latest painting, which you just saw me take the tape off of. And then here are the 3 sketches that I'm debating which one to do next to turn into a large painting. So we're going to call this painting number 1. This will be painting number 2. And here is painting number 3. So if you don't mind commenting below which one you think I should paint after this one. This is what I'm going to work on definitely next. Probably for this video actually. And then I'll do the other ones in another video. But if you could just comment below painting 1, 2, or 3, that would be really, really very much appreciated. So thank you again last time for voting, and I do truly appreciate all of your feedback and comments. So yeah, let me know down there. All right, so getting back to this one. This I'm going to turn into a 24 by 24 inch painting. A big square painting, obviously. But I think what I'm going to do is bring all of this down slightly. Well, not slightly, probably quite a bit. So there's going to be less of this area. So I think what I'm going to do is work on a 12 by 12 sketch first, slightly bigger than this one. And I also didn't document the colors on this one. So I need to figure out what colors I want to use in this and just kind of redo the perspective a bit. And then I'll move on to the big 24 by 24 panel. As I start this sketch again, I'm thinking about the process of redoing things and how much we learn as we repeat a task. I think that the task gets easier the more we repeat it, and therefore it actually becomes more enjoyable. We don't know what to expect the first time we attempt something, and sometimes that can be a bit frustrating. A good example of this is our continued attempt at a drywall. It was frustrating the first time around and frustrating the second time around as well, but we learned that we should taper the edges and the drywall outside the bathroom looks much better. We're much happier with it than our first attempt, so hopefully when we go to do drywall again, it will be a bit less frustrating and more enjoyable. I think the same thing goes for the painting process. The more I practice and paint, the better I get. All right, I have the underpainting done. It is very, very rough, but I'm gonna let it dry and then come back and put on some encaustic medium, but I think I'm calling it for today in the studio. I'm gonna just let this dry overnight, make sure it's thoroughly dry before I go put the encaustic medium down on it. So I will pick you guys back up tomorrow, or at least if not tomorrow, later on in the week. We'll see you then. Continuing on the conversation of painting practice and redoing a sketch, I think when you redo a sketch, it almost becomes like second nature. Sure, things can still go wrong and a painting may still not come out like I envisioned it. But that's a lesson to take to the next painting. And after many years of painting, I often say it's just paint, meaning I can mess a painting up and I know that I can either cover it up, scrape it back, or just plain old start over. I'm confident when I walk into the studio that it's going to be fun, and I think that's the most important thing. So I guess what I'm saying is I like to redo things. I like attempting new things too, but the practicing is equally as fun. Lessons can be learned from both attempting new things and redoing old. So here I am, redoing this sketch. Morning all. As you can see out there, the sun is out. It's going to be a scorcher out today, so I am taking advantage of the air conditioner here in the studio. And I also want to get some colors picked out and kind of documented for this next painting. So that's on the agenda today. I'm hoping to get most of this figured out today, and then possibly maybe tomorrow or the following day. I'm not exactly sure when. Summer is just a crazy schedule going on here, but at any rate, not relevant here. I'm hoping to eventually start this into a big painting, but today the goal is to get most of these colors ironed out and kind of down on the sketch so that then I can turn that into the larger painting. So yeah, let me show you kind of how I pick out the colors. All right, so on one of my rolling carts here, I have these paint swatches, and these are just pieces of molding. I think it's screen molding, I believe, that I have cut up and then put some encaustic gesso down first, and then obviously put the encaustic paint down on them. And it's on this, I think this is ball chain, I think that's what you call it, but it's on this chain so I can easily take it on and off of the cart, add more colors to it, or take this entire thing over to my painting, which is what I'm going to be doing now, to try to match up the colors. And I have a warm set of those encaustic paint colors as well. So I have a warm and a cool set, and as you can see, I have quite a few colors. All right, I think I have the colors picked out, and a couple of them kind of mixed together. So I think I know what I'm doing. And I just wanted to show you one other thing. The reason I do these paint sticks is because when the encaustic medium, or rather encaustic paint, is in these cube forms, it's really hard to tell the exact color. So this is actually this color, which is strange. I know, it doesn't look like it at all. But this color is on this paint stick, and also that on that swatch. So, you know, you can see these two are quite similar. This is on wood, so it's a slightly different color, but this looks nothing like those. And I know I said all of this in the past, so if you've been around here a while, hopefully I'm not completely boring you with this commentary, but if you're new around here, I just thought I would let you know that a tidbit of information. So anyways, I think I'm going to get to now painting on this sketch, and we'll see where it goes. It is, like I said, super sunny out, so the shadows in here are crazy. So hopefully this isn't going to be horrible for you guys to watch with a bunch of shadows and the sun coming in and out, you know, all that stuff. But anyways, let's get to painting. All right, well, apparently my camera fell down while recording, so I don't know how often or how much of that recording you were at a crazy angle, but just sticking some paint down, so I'm gonna try to stick you back up and get that camera to stay perpendicular and not at a funky angle. And that shop small bag there normally has well, it has a bunch of books in it, but normally it holds the weight of the camera so you guys don't go tilting down at a strange angle. But for some reason this time it didn't, so let's get you back up there and keep recording here. I think I have the colors figured out. However, I'm running low on a green color that I need for this painting. So I'm going to hit pause on painting this painting and make up one of the green colors. And I'm just taking a look at my encaustic medium. I might make up a batch of encaustic medium as well, because that's getting a little low. And this panel, I believe, is going to be a 24 by 24 inch panel, so it's probably going to take up, or rather not take up, but probably take quite a bit of encaustic medium. So I think I'm hitting pause on the painting today and switching gears to do that stuff. I wanted to mention two things about this encaustic medium, because you might be asking. I am not going to share the recipe with this encaustic medium. It is a recipe that I learned from Alicia Torme. I will try to remember to link that down below in the description. She's another encaustic artist. And back when I first started with encaustic, I took a class of hers, an online class. I think it was called Learn to Burn at the time. I think she still has it, but at any rate, it's a great class, highly recommend. It has to do with shellac burn, and also she teaches you how to make your own encaustic medium, get a really smooth surface on a encaustic panel. Really great class. But I'm not going to share the recipe for this encaustic medium because it's technically not mine to share. The other thing I wanted to show you was, you probably saw like a bunch of debris floating around in that damar resin. That damar resin definitely has debris in it. It's just how it happens. So basically all of that debris floats to the bottom, kind of sinks to the bottom on these encaustic cakes. And then I just scrape that off, and easy peasy, able to get that debris out of the encaustic medium. So just wanted to mention those two things. And so I'm going to get to scraping that stuff off of the bottom. And yeah, probably pick you guys back up shortly. if you can see that debris in there, but it is sinking to the bottom. And this is what I have left of the scrapings I just scraped off. So hoping to get 2 more somewhat mini little blocks out of this recipe here. All right, I think this is where I'm gonna leave you for today. I'm gonna try really hard to get back in here tomorrow and pick you back up then. I want to try to get the trees done on this sketch so that I can move on to the larger painting. It's going to be another crazy, busy week ahead, so fingers crossed I'll be able to pick you back up and continue on with this sketch, but time will tell. And I'm gonna try to walk outside now. I have there's a little bird's nest out underneath the back of the studio, and I noticed yesterday that there's some baby birds in it, and I took a video on my phone, so if I can't capture it on this camera, I'll put that in here now, but they're super, super tiny and cute. So anyways, gonna leave you here for today, and I'll pick you back up sometime soon. Good afternoon. Don't mind the very messy hair and the same clothes as yesterday. I basically have just a couple hours to spend in here, and then I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff outside. It is hot, sweltering out there, and so I figured there was really no point in showering and then getting all sweaty and gross. So excuse the mess of my appearance. At any rate, my plan today is to figure out what blue I want to paint the main tree with. I did not write down the blue that I used on this tree, and it's not a color like a standard color, so I either just picked a random blue that I kind of just mixed, which I'm sure that's what I did, but I like it and I want to try to replicate it. So I want to do that, figure out what color that is, and then I also want to figure out if I yesterday I was kind of thinking I should have brought those trees down even a little bit more. So I'm thinking for the big painting, you know, just all of this is to plan out for that big painting so that when I start putting the wax down on a huge panel, I'm not, you know, kind of quote unquote wasting. Not that I really think you're wasting, but at any rate, that's my plan. Like I said, I only have a few hours, so I'm gonna get to work trying to figure out this blue. And then I initially thought I was gonna use this combo, which is Payne's Gray, this color, and India blue. However, I think it's still a little too dark compared to this, and so I might try just mixing a little bit of this up and adding some white to it to see how that looks, or I might mix this with a gray and see how that looks. And just for reference, I'm talking about possibly bringing these down even farther into this area. Compared to this, I did bring them down about an inch or so on this scale versus this, but I think I could bring them down even farther so that there's less of this area. But I need to kind of get the roots in there and really maybe see what I think. All right, I think I have it at least as close as I'm gonna get. I'm gonna go with this, which I don't know, it's really hard to tell, but I think, oops, sorry, off camera, there we go. I think is pretty close to that blue there. Not that it completely matters, I just like the color. I'm probably being way too picky. But at any rate, that is a combination of these three colors. So I think what I'm going to do is mix the colors up in a tin so that I then have it for the big painting. All right, I think that is going to take a little while to melt down in that tin. So while that does that, I'm going to take a piece of tracing paper and just kind of sketch out the roots to see what I think. And then if I think it's going to work, I'll then, of course, transfer it onto this painting, or this sketch rather. But I figured that'd be a good use of my time while this melts down, and then I can test the ratio of the 3 colors, if it's the right color, or add more or less of something. Well, not less, I'm not straightening it back out. Add more of another color if I need. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna try it out, and then if I need something different, I can always do something different with the big painting. But I'm going to just go for it with this perspective. That way, because in order to bring these trees down farther now, you know, I have a lot of green and things like that in here already, and that darker brown. It would take a lot of scraping back or a lot of painting over to really kind of blend that out now. So I'm just going to go with it. And the other issue is that this blue color is such a light, kind of almost transparent blue in the sky here, that it really would not cover this up well. I would really have to scrape a lot of it back. So plan is to just go with it for now. And that wax has melted down. This looks way too like a blue color to me, but I'm gonna paint it on and see the actual color onto this white little piece of paper here. It's not bad, but I'm gonna mix a little bit more paint in with it and try to get it a little bit closer to this. It's a tiny little bit off. And since I'm going to do this, I thought I would show you the process here. This is just a regular old painter's spatula knife thingy, but it has a metal end, so I can stick it right on the griddle and heat that metal end up. And then I can slice through these encaustic blocks. It's quite handy, and I do it fairly frequently. All right, I think I got the color figured out here. All these colors are figured out, so that is good. And boy, the sun is bright coming in here today. And I have the tree roots transferred onto this sketch really quick. So I think that's it for me in the studio today. Good morning all. It's been a few days since I've been in here. It's pretty much exactly as I've left it. My plan for today is to get these trees done on this sketch. I keep saying it, but that is the plan for today. And if you can hear some barking, there's something outside. Earlier this morning walking over here, I heard some snorting in the woods. I'm thinking the deer must be over there getting bothered by something. But anyways, the neighborhood dogs are also barking at stuff. So I don't know what's out there this morning, but something is. At any rate, I also started editing this video, and hopefully you're still sticking with me here. It's getting long. So I think what I'm going to do is probably put you on time lapse for most of this, but I just wanted to kind of end the video with this sketch being done. So I'll probably just stick you up on time lapse for these trees. So yeah, let's get to painting. Before I stick you up top, I just wanted to show you the setup, because not all of this is going to fit in the camera angle. But I have this encaustic writing tool out, and hopefully that'll focus there. That is what that tool is called. I got it from fineartstore.com. This little piece also goes with it. Goes right in top there. And then I stick the wax also in there. And it's a heated tool. As you can see the cord, it's all plugged in, ready to go. And it has a temperature regulator on it, which is nice because you don't have to buy an extra attachment for it. Anyways, back to the setup. I have that blue encaustic wax for the trees, white encaustic wax, and then both of those are being melted on the griddle. And then I have this chunk of black encaustic wax along with a bit more that I can put in here as a whole chunk, and it'll melt down. And then painting, of course, off to the side over there. So that is the setup for today. let's get you on time lapse and get to painting these trees. I think this is where I'm going to call it on this sketch. Let me flip the camera around and show you the two sketches. Also, I'm very distracted by the bird flying outside of the window here. I'll see if I can get a couple shots. But the little baby birds are doing quite well. There's actually 3 of them in the nest, so I'll try to get a few shots of that too. Not a very good picture, but little mama bird there sitting right outside the studio door, or studio window rather. And back to the sketches, the task at hand here, stay focused. Here is the latest one, and here was the original. I still think I'm going to bring some of this down a bit farther to lose some of this area for the big painting, but stay tuned for that. Don't forget, let me know down there below in the comments what sketch you want to see me paint after this one. I really appreciate your input. Also, while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It truly, truly does help me out. Thanks so much for coming along. We'll see you on the next one.